Good morning, everybody. Well, the boys sure made us proud on this trip. What an amazing road trip, guys. What an amazing road trip. You know, I didn't even feel like we lost yesterday. I don't think we lost that game. Like, the Sabres came back in this game, not back from a deficit, but they came back when it looked like when they tied it 1-1 and they were taking over the game. The Sabres still steamed back and forced them into our game as much as we could. It was just such an impressive trip. Really, guys, the only thing we lost in this entire trip was a shootout. That's it. That's it. And you guys know what I think of shootouts. So. Now, this is why, guys, when I talk about overtime, as people say they give fake loser points away, they really don't understand hockey, the people that say that, or they haven't played. They're just fans that haven't played competitive hockey and don't get that when a team like Buffalo goes into a road trip, earns that point, gets to overtime after 60 hard minutes, would you think it's proper right now as a Sabres fan that we did not get a point yesterday after losing a shootout? You tell me. I think we give away fake winner points in extra time. That's my philosophy on that. All right, let's look at these numbers. My goodness, the boys are just... We're going to talk about how the league has to take notice of the Buffalo Sabres, finally. The team has arrived, folks. To what capacity, we'll find out. But let's look at the numbers. All right, 35-31 for the Wild. 53% to 47% on the faceoff for the Wild. The Wild had 4 power plays in this game. We had 1. The Wild played a good game, folks. A really good game. Look at this. We had 5 hits. They had 24. We had 11 blocks. They had 15. We had 4 giveaways. They had 6. Shots on goal. First period, 13-9 Wild. Second period, 11-9 Sabres. They split it 10-10 in the third. And in the overtime, 3-1 for the Wild for the 35-31 for the game. Scoring. First period, Quinn opens it up. Makes it 1-0 on an absolutely beautiful play at 2:22. Eriksson Ek ties it up on the power play on a dumb penalty, in my opinion. I won't say who took it. At 3:35, 1-1 after 1. Second period, Gergensen's at basically halfway through the game gives us the lead again, 2-1 Sabres. On a good play from Okposo, I will say. That was a really good play by him. That threw the defenseman's legs, just a really pretty play. And then Spurgeon ties it up for them again minutes later, 2-2. No scoring in the third, no scoring in the overtime. As you know, we lose the shootout. So we lose a shootout, guys. If you would have told me that before these 4 games, that the Sabres are only going to lose 1 shootout game, that's it. And it'll be the last one. Like, we came a shootout away. We couldn't be beaten in regulation. We couldn't be beaten in overtime on this trip. We weren't even trailing in this game. We weren't even trailing. You know what, too? Did you notice how mad, and I loved it, how mad UPL was after that shootout. He was so mad walking down the hallway, whacking his stick. He was angry as hell. That was nice to see. That was good to see, the competitive flow coming out of him. He doesn't just have that innocent smile. That was nice to see. You know? So I was breaking down some numbers here. Since the 8-game skid, guys, okay, we're 19-8-4. Since the 8-game losing streak, we're 19-8-4. We've lost 8 losses in our last 8 regulation losses in our last 31 games. Think about that for a sec. This team. This isn't the 06 squad. This is the 2023 squad, you know? 8 regulation losses in our last 31. Our last 16 games on the road were 12-2-2. 2 regulation losses in our last 16 road games. And last night was not a regulation loss, as we know. The boys are not just impressing, folks. They're just for real. You know, This game, we had 35 minutes into this game, folks, and I was keeping track of this. You know me, I'm anal with the hitting. The Sabres were being out hit 14-1. We had one hit after 35 minutes.
That's all we got. One goddamn hit.
You can't say goddamn on the air.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
The only thing I can't understand is how frustrating, I got to remember this, how frustrating must that be for another team? When the team has thrown one hit at you after 35 minutes, 5 minutes left in the second, and they can't get the lead on you. I don't know. I don't know how that must feel for a team. I don't know. I don't think I've ever played in a hockey game where the other team's throwing one hit and 2 periods at us. Oh my goodness. But you know what? We did, even though, and you know, I was listening to the Minnesota announcers. They're really, man, these guys are in tune what's going on. They were talking about everything about the Sabres. They said if there's a way you're going to beat this team, you don't play a chess match with these guys when it comes to speed. They're right. You don't try to hold serve and go at them with your speed. You don't do that. He says what you do is you play them physical. He said they're the worst physical team in hockey. They outright said it on the Wild station. Said this is above and beyond. He goes the worst physical team in hockey. The way they said it, those words. The worst physical team in hockey. You've got to take advantage of that. And you don't get caught into their game of skating, you know? He said that's what they're going to try to do to you. They're going to try to force you into a game of skating. So it feels good that we have that, you know, because I get it, we suck in the hitting department, but we're really the best in the league in the skating department, guys. And that, of course, we know is like what hockey's all about, is skating. And it's funny that other announcers are kind of paranoid of being drawn into a skating game. They don't want to be drawn into it. So, you know, they came at us physically. They did. But at the same time, we frustrated them, I think, into a skating game. But you know what? This is where the Sabres, instead of taking dumb penalties, got to play more physical. Yesterday's kind of a perfect example of that, guys, that if we would have had a little bit more mean in us, and you've seen the difference having a guy like Reeves in their lineup made yesterday, you've seen. And if we would have played maybe a little more that way, and I'm not thinking it would have changed the outcome of the game because we lost in a shootout, but I'm just thinking the game in general. And if we would have maybe played a little more towards that way, we would have maybe take less penalties is what I'm saying, because I was frustrated with, that's one thing the Sabres are frustrating. 10% of that game, they got to play with the man advantage more than we did. 6 more full minutes than we did, guys. So if you're wondering why they outshot us, it's right there. You know, like the Sabres in that third period were awesome. You know, guys, I'm taken back by this Buffalo team right now. I'm that impressed with yesterday. I don't even care we lost. I don't care. Oh, and I would have done this video last night, guys, but it's after midnight, and right behind me is where my neighbors sleep. And these walls are not as thick as my old apartment, so what I'm going to do, and I'm planning on doing this, I'm going to pad the wall behind the green screen. I'm going to pad the wall down completely because the roof and the floor are concrete. So I'll be able to actually make later videos if I pad the whole wall down behind me. So I am going to do it eventually. I thought about that yesterday. I was thinking, what can I do? And my daughter just said, Dad, why don't you just pad the wall down? I guess, yeah, that makes sense. So I'm very happy with the boys, very proud of the boys. I don't even want to go into numbers and assists. We did this yesterday without our first line doing anything offensively. We did that type of game in Minnesota, one of the best home teams in hockey. We still played this good. The Sabres are getting better. That's what I seen yesterday. That's what I feel good about, guys. The Sabres are getting better. Yesterday, that's what yesterday tells me. We're getting better. I thought potentially, the Sabres might go in there and lose like 6-2 or something. I just thought maybe. Wow. So guys, now we have Carolina. We have Carolina, then we have the break. We have Carolina in a few days. Wednesday, right? I believe it's Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday. So we got Carolina on Wednesday in Buffalo. Then we have the break. As we're sitting right now, we're 1 point out of a playoff spot. I won't clip it out. I'll just read it out to you guys. This is exciting. Good Lord, this is exciting. You know what? I'm going to clip it out. Let's take a look at it. Look at this. Washington, 58 points. Pittsburgh, 57 points. Buffalo, 56 points. The Islanders, 55 points. Florida, 54 points. Philadelphia's in it with 51. Detroit's in it with 50. And Ottawa, now that won 3 in a row, are back in this. They're in this, whether we think so or not. They're in this. They're literally like a winning streak away from getting right back in this thing. So this is like, it's crazy. This is fun. This is what we wanted. We're a bubble team. We're officially a bubble team after what I seen yesterday. Sabres are sticking around. Now, if they can beat Carolina, I think we would really, we'd really go off on a high as we get prepared for the exciting All-Star break. Oh Lord! So the kids can rest up. I just hate how it's a momentum kill. It will be a momentum kill no matter what. But the Sabres have proved time and time again they stare those things in the eye and come right back and win. So, if anything, let them rest up. They've earned a good rest, what I just seen on this road trip and this stretch. So that's it, guys. I'm leaving it there. The boys made us proud. Great road trip. They get it done again, as far as I'm concerned, yesterday. They get it done again. They get a point. I'm thrilled with that. 3-0-1. I'm still taken back by it all. But it's time for us to get used to these guys as one of the elite teams in the league, because that is what's coming next. Eventually. Might be by next year, guys. We might be like a top 5, top 6 team next year. But for this year, we're just going to claw and grind our way as hard as we can into a playoff spot. That's the hopes this year. All right, guys, I will be probably busy today. I don't know if I'll be making videos. I'm going to be watching my 49ers today, so I'm going to be watching that very closely. They got me pretty nervous right now, so we'll see. We'll see if the bubble bursts finally. We've been I haven't lost in like 3 months, so I'm just hoping they get one more so they can get to the Super Bowl. All right, folks, I'll see you maybe tonight. See you then.